Hi friends, it's Victor Costa. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Folks have been asking me all sorts of questions about steroids, TRT, my opinion of all that stuff, and I'm going to share with you my opinion of that stuff for Victor Costa. I'm not going to share my opinion for you and what you want to do with your own body and your own health. Let me tell you a little story about my past and my history. So my parents didn't have much, I suppose you could say, when we were young. But one of the things that they did have was jobs, and they were employed, and they spent as much money as they possibly could to get us the best possible care. We didn't have a lot of the extra things that a lot of families have, but what we always did was we had good care. And I remember my parents used to take me to a very, a really nice pediatrician's office on Fifth Avenue. We didn't live on Fifth Avenue. But I remember I used to go there and be fascinated with the pastoral wallpaper, his gold pens, and just the finery in the office. And I remember my parents always making an issue of protecting what you've already got. In other words, we may not have given you much, but we've given you good health. And it's up to you to be the custodian of that health that we have helped cultivate with good food, nourishment, care, love, good doctors, and all that. And so I've always felt that I have been the custodian of good health. And it's been my obligation, both to myself and to my parents, to not jeopardize something so precious and wonderful that I know was cared for, was taken so seriously, was stretched to pay for, and also prayed for. You know, when we had, what do you pray for? You pray that your kids are healthy. I mean, that's what I prayed for when my daughter was healthy. That's born. That's all you care about, is that you pray for your kids to be healthy. And just so you know, guys and gals, somebody prayed for you to be healthy. And so you have an obligation to take care of that and be the custodian of wellness. And when that's your focus, you invite wellness into your life. You really don't invite a lot of sickness when that's your mission, to take care of something that's already good, right? So you get into the mind and how the mind works. And yes, I competed and I wanted to see how far I could go. But I knew that was going to come at an expense. And to be honest with you, when I decided not to do steroids, I kind of lost the momentum of where I was headed. And there was only so far that I could go naturally. I was winning some NPC shows, and then I started to come in a little bit lower ranked. So I would come in like 4th place in an NPC show. And sometimes I would actually look better in the show that I was 4th than some of the shows that I won. And I think it was because of just having the momentum, having people recognize you, and that kind of thing. And then I had to make a decision to whether or not to go to university and things like that. And that's what I did, And I spent a lot of time in that, and also other intellectual pursuits and things like that. So that's how I spent my time. And I still feel as though that I'm the custodian of wellness, and that wellness has been given to me, and I'm fortunate in that way. And all I have to do to get through this life, and one of my goals, is to not mess up what's already good. That's really, valuable. I mean, could you imagine having something perfect and then you mess it up, and because of what you did, it's your whole life and everything goes in a different direction and goes awry? I already felt that this is fine. Don't mess with it. As far as so that's personally for me. Also, in general, I believe that most people can have what they want naturally. I think that some people have the idea that they want to have certain physiques that they perceive to be on drugs, that they perceive that those people are on drugs when they admire their physique and stuff, and maybe some of them are. But when it comes down to what you really want, I think a lot of people would actually stop short of going that far with their idea of what they'd want. In other words, they would be satisfied with a different type of physique, a natural physique that would manifest directly from their hard work and effort, because it looks like that's yours. It doesn't look like you're wearing some kind of an odd suit that doesn't fit. And that's to me what, excuse me guys, the power, that's to me that is what steroid physiques look like, because I've seen them backstage in different types of contests and things like that. And so, and when it comes to TRT, you know, I think some people are out there praying and wishing that their T levels are low, so so they could find a doctor that will replace it. In my opinion, it's for replacement. Probably not necessarily for bodybuilding, but to replace that which is out of balance with everything else. So it isn't necessarily a bodybuilding tool that one should use. It's to rebalance the hormones so that one can have optimal health. If something is missing, you simply replace it. It's not to go overboard and to go to develop a whole different trajectory and almost wish it was low so that you could go in that direction. So I think once it's used for that, it isn't really about replacing, right? It's about achieving something and just using that as a tool for that. And you can find plenty of dirty doctors that will probably recommend it and even falsify examinations. But I think there's a lot of true physicians out there that'll measure people and say you simply don't need it, or if they prescribe it, it's not so that you can become a bodybuilder, it's that so you can come back to the balance of wellness. And I think that that's what it's for. So when it comes to steroids, TRT, you know, not for me, not gonna be for me. I've got a different idea about what my body is supposed to do also as my testosterone wanes. When your testosterone wanes, let's put it this way, when you're young, you have a lot of physical strength, a lot of testosterone, but you don't have wisdom and you don't have leverage. So young guys will see a heavy rock and pick that rock up. But as you get older and your body starts to deteriorate slightly and you get a little weaker, you start realizing that you can use a lever to move that rock. And not only can you move that rock, you can move 5 times, 10 times that rock with the lever. And that's what wisdom and age gives you. Leverage. And as your physical body starts to deteriorate and wane, hopefully, your intellectual prowess and your wisdom begins to elevate. So the organism, the human being, is never depleted. There's always wholeness, and it's just changing form. So when the physical body starts to wane, hopefully the intellect and wisdom begin to rise, and you begin to use the leverage of the universe to keep yourself whole.